Welcome back to the Social Distance Podcast. I'm coming in a little bit hotter this time after George giving me shit last week about coming in like 1980s radio host. We are back. It's Tuesday. It's the second Tuesday. We talk about the Giro. We go deep into wrapping up the Giro. We wrap up the first 10 days. It's been a hell of a Giro. Yates is off GC. What does that mean for him now? Does he continue or does he go to the Tour de France? We discuss
I want to know now.
We talk about who's going to win now. Is it Carapaz? Is it Lando? Is it Bardet? Jai Hindley, he's in the game now. It is all to play for. We talk about the mindset of professional athletes when you have these downfalls. You've fallen. You've lost 11 minutes. What do? How do you get your head straight? All these things. It's not easy. Who supports you? Do they love you still? Yes, they probably do. Like, share, subscribe. It's a hell of an episode.
Daryl Impey comes on.
Daryl Impey comes on as well. Live from the road.
You've gone from
a
late
he's
night
commentating a sport event. He's gone from a radio
horse race
broadcaster.
Yeah. He's a horse race commentator. He's gone from late night love song dedications to calling the Melbourne Cup.
Jack of all trades, mate. Master of none. It's where
I'm looking forward to it. Do you reckon he can recalibrate the next step and just come in the middle?
Yeah.
I just strive for mediocrity. That's me. Just do. But Daryl Impey does join us. Jonesy goes podcast fishing. We explain why Rowan Dennis couldn't come on, and it's not his fault. I'll tell you that much. It's ours, as always.
In fact, you don't need to listen to the show. You've got it all just in this first bit.
No,
Tune out now, but subscribe.
Yeah.
Unlike us, unsubscribe. Get out of here.
See you guys.
See you later.
Set to automatic downloads as well. That always helps.
Oh, okay.
Let's just run the intro and wing it like we always do and see what comes out of it.
Let's get ready to rumble! Front kick.
Just getting bored and dance move chat.
My radar's going pretty hard at the moment. I think we should.
Will you shut up, man?
That escalated quickly.
We're going to need to get some more qualified guests on this show, eh?
Before we kick off the show and talk about what's been a pretty unpredictable, exciting Giro, before we do that and before we make shit up, go off sidetrack, do what we normally do, I want to clear my name. I need to clear my name after last week's episode. I've been dragged through the mud.
What did you do
last week's episode? I don't remember it. Oh, was I even there? I didn't record an episode last week.
Well, the last show, 2 weeks ago, 2 Tuesdays ago, every single Tuesday we release this. So 2 Tuesdays ago, I was pretending to be a 1980s radio host, and I introduced Marvin Gaye. But it came, for some reason, it sounded like I said Martin Gaye. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So I listened, I was like, did I just say Martin
I think
Gaye?
you've committed bigger crimes than then. Then. I remember you.
That was a big build-up.
You put some tweets out about name a better combo, and you had like 4 things, right? That was just the shittest combo. You're like, oh, I've got football on, some odd herb saffron, and this thing, and it was like name a better quartet, and I was thinking like Dom's Lube, Dom Perignon, and like
oysters.
Oysters, easy. There you go. 4-way bit. There's a bit of combo.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a play on. It was a bit of a play on the situation, clearly.
Oh right.
Although saffron is pretty expensive, but I just need to clear my name because a lot of people tweeted me saying that I don't know the name of Marvin Gaye. I know it's Marvin Gaye.
We've got our first guest on the podcast. Someone knocking at my door at Team Camp. Let's see who it is.
Yeah, let's do it live. And they always want to interview riders.
Oh, grazie, guys.
Oh yeah, Uber Eats.
Breakfast, is it?
Yeah, breakfast. Breakfast in a bag. George is probably 2 hours late for brekkie.
What do we got, boys?
What's that? Is that
the man himself? Paco?
What is it?
Oh, do you know what this is? Do you know what this is actually quite cool? Because, just a little bit of self-sourcing here. All my jerseys now, they don't have them. We're going to put that away. We're going to bench that chat and not talk about this. What these were meant to be was jerseys with the ex-national champ on the sleeve.
Oh, nice.
But, so is that just a black armband?
Is, these are sleeveless jerseys. They're vests, so they don't have armbands on them.
Okay.
So what do they do for the Kiwi national champ? It's just a black armband. It'd be like someone died.
Yeah, it's just like I'm in permanent mourning. I've just got a black armband on. Like, who died? You're like,
Yeah,
nah,
that's it. Kiwi champ, bro.
Nah, Kiwi champ. Nah, I've actually got a sweet design.
You can put a fern there, I think.
Of Lottos. Oh, here it is. No, here it is. Here's a long sleeve with it. If you can see for the listeners,
Yeah,
for the listeners at home. This I'm aware this is an audio medium, but there you go.
Oh, yeah, it's got like a little
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's cool.
Little koru.
Yeah.
That was our guest on the potty. Great stuff. Better than Rowan Dennis.
Yeah, what happened to Rowan Dennis?
Well, what do you mean? What happened to Rowan Dennis? Like,
Why didn't he want to come on?
He does want to come on, but
No, he doesn't.
the problem is that,
clearly he doesn't. Second week in a row.
He's had two bites at the cherry.
Well, let's.
Is it you? I think it's you.
Is it me?
Yeah,
like, you don't want him on.
The problem is that when you have a guest on a podcast, it's like when you do a media interview, George. You know the journalist has the.
You should see this WhatsApp conversation I'm having with the Slovenian at the moment. Like, honestly, every morning she's like, "How's today?" I was like, "Oh, today, shit, got a lot on. Got a lot on today." So I'll message her like some abstract time, like, "How about Friday in 3 weeks?" And she's like, "Yeah, sounds good."
You've done the classic, like, if I push it back far enough, I'll forget that I have to do it. But then at a certain point, you're reminded you have to do it, and you're like, I never thought that Friday would come. Fuck.
I don't speak Slovenian.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, you've got the journalist needs to be flexible around the subject. The podcast hosts need to be flexible around the guest. All we do is message Rowan 10 hours before and say, we're doing it at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. He goes, I can't, I'm going training. I go, oh, well, he's not coming.
Oh, 10 hours is enough time. I only give my guests on detour about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you text me during detour going, mate, we're running out of things to talk about. Can you come on the show?
Yeah.
I'll dial in from like halfway up Rockacorba on the bike.
You'd be surprised at how many people have come on with literally 10 seconds notice. Like Alan Davis the other night after the Giro stage when Caleb got done by a millimetre. Yeah, he jumped on with 10-second notice. He goes, "Oh, mate, I have to leave dinner."
You just send people links. You just send people links, and people go, "What's this? This is interesting. I'll click on this link." Next minute, they're in the show, and they're going, "Oh, you clicked on the link. Congratulations, you're live on the podcast." We should do that. Just send links.
We used to do that. Podcast
we
fishing.
Used to do it. Podcast fishing.
Oh yeah, we had no success.
Go on, everyone, do it then. Let's see how we go.
All right, you want me to do it?
Send a link to
John Trevorrow.
No, not.
Shall I put one in the team? Shall I put one in the team group chat and see who comes on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just put one in the riders group chat. Just click the link in there.
Click the link. Join the show, boys. Let's go. Just do it.
No.
You won't. You won't.
Oh, I'm the new kid on the team. I'm still finding my way.
Yeah.
Don't
purely though. You've been in that team for 14 years or something. You should do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm doing it now. I'm going to see how
you going to do it?
Well, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. Right. I've got a guy that I reckon will do it. I know. He's a big name.
Is it a good guest though?
Yes.
You don't get some guy on that like
you're get some like
mechanic who retired in like 1983 on or something like.
No, don't. All right. Anyway, we're getting derailed. You were telling a story about something. Caleb Ewan nearly winning the Giro.
Who I was?
Did you see Rowy's? Did you see what Rowy commented on his Instagram?
No.
Did he say?
Oh, I don't know. I can repeat it.
Oh, you got beaten by your size of your dick.
Yeah. So Caleb puts up this post of him like bike throwing, like, and it's so close. It was so close to winning. Like, man, it was a pretty awesome sprint actually. Like 3 out, pretty close. Puts it on Instagram and Rowie comments like, "Whoa, can't believe you lost by the length of your cock." Jesus.
Did he delete that? Did he delete that afterwards, or did he let it run?
I don't know, but you know what that is? That's Rowie being up in Tenerife, like going bored out of his brain, just trolling on Instagram. You know, like.
Did you see Rowie's the video that Rowie put up after the Arenberg when he punched in the Arenberg this year in Roubaix?
No.
Or last year? Was it last year? It was last year.
Oh, when it was like to all the haters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
It was so good, though. Yeah, it was so
I
good.
love that as well. That's
I couldn't agree with him more.
Yeah.
What do you reckon of the Giro so far, lads?
That's what I was going to say. Like Caleb did lose that sprint by a bee's dick. It's no better. But do you know what's amazing is like how common that is now? Like these like close finishes. Like there's been two, like yesterday again. It was like the top of Blockhouse, 5,000 meters of climbing, 200 kilometer stage, like one of the hardest
Three
stages.
up across the line.
3 up across the line, nearly photo finish. Like what is going on?
I'll tell you what's been good about the Giro. I've loved the Giro so far. Well, actually, it's been hard to watch because I've always watched the Giro and gone, right, I'm going to have a tilt at that. And I've had a tilt at it and it's 5 degrees in rain. And now I'm like, nah, never going back to the Giro. 30 degrees, sun every day, like amazing, no crashes. Like I'm like, oh, okay, hard to watch. But it's thrown up for me 2 awesome winners so far that I've been super excited about winning. First one was Koen Bouwman. And so I was obviously teammates with him for like 6 years. And I knew he was going good because, do you know how it was going good? Because how I knew he was going good? Because they were in Tenerife before the build up to the Giro, right? And they have a Garmin scale up there, which is hooked to my Garmin account. And so they weigh themselves on this thing and it automatically uploads to like your, uploads automatically to your account, you know? So I got a message from him going like, oh, we're trying to link this. I think it's to link to your account, whatever. So I looked on and I knew who was at Tenerife and I know how much he normally weighs. He normally carries a bit extra, you know? And I looked on, I was like, holy shit. He's like 2 kilos lighter. He's so lean. And then I saw him on the TV. I was like, oh, he's flying. And I could see everybody's weight from Jumbo Visma on my app. I was like, oh, there's like 75. That must be that guy. 60 must be this guy. Oh, fuck, he's a bit fat. Like, you know, he's creeping. He's going good. And you could see him that they're winning. And I was pretty happy to see him win because like 5 years ago, I remember he was up for contract and he had a pretty shit like first 2 years, just stuff went wrong and whatever. And he was not going to get renewed. And he was like, but you know, that's fine. Like he started like asking the boss, like, oh, but you know, like, can I just be like a mechanic or something? Like I just want to like, he just wanted to be a mechanic and he didn't really like, he liked cycling, but like when he got his first job in the team, so he got the stagiaire. I remember he was driving. I did a stagiaire with him. Like he did a stagiaire when I was already pro, obviously. And he was driving back from his first race and the team offered him a contract in the car. Marion had this conversation with him and was like, okay, mate, we're going to offer you this and this. And he's like, wow, man, it's amazing. And he goes, but Marion, does this mean I have to quit my job at the bike shop?
What a legend.
And they were like,
He's a legend.
yes, this means you have to quit the job at the bike shop. But then he was out of contract and he wasn't going to get another job. And then he won that stage in the Dauphiné. And then just from there, he's just been awesome. So it was good to see him win.
Where's he from?
He's from, I can't remember what part of Holland, but he's Dutch, but I can't remember what part.
I heard that same story about this contract negotiation 5 years ago or whatever. And like apparently the way I heard it, and like this is what we do on this podcast is we speculate, and then somewhere in between our two stories is the truth.
Yeah.
Triangulate
stories to make truths.
Create facts. It's the best way to do it.
He apparently he'd already won the stage at the Dauphiné, and he sat down for this contract negotiation, and he sat down with Marijn Zeeman, and he just said straight away to Marijn, if you're not going to give me a contract, can you just give me a contract as a mechanic? Because I just love hanging out with mechanics and having beers. And Marijn was like, you have to try. Like, come on. You have to at least try and sell yourself.
Another fun fact about this guy is, so I hate training camp. I'm on training camp right now, and honestly, I've been here one day. And I mean, you know, this training camp's all good. We're in the mountains, and it's nice. But like team training camp in December for me was the worst because you just sit, like you're away from home, but you're not away from home working as such. You know, like I live at 2,000 meters anyway. I want to be with my family. I want to home, not like a family, friends, whatever. And if I go away, it's because I'm going away to try and improve. You know, I'm going away to race, you know, put a number on, get stuck in. So I hate training camp. And he's like, man, if they could just pay me just to go on training camp, that's what I would love to do. You know, that training camp was his favorite time of year. And I remember being there real like pissed off one day because of the training camp. And he's like, what are you upset about? You know, someone makes you breakfast, You ride your bike with your friends. You don't have to cook lunch. You can play Uno in the afternoons. And I was like, he's actually got a point.
They're the blokes you want on your team. Those ultra positive guys that when you feel it a bit flat, they flip it and you go, I want a slice of that. Positivity.
Do you know what you're doing, George? Is you're like, I heard this classic line yesterday from Nick Schultz. I was training with him. It's called job over joy. And it's so true in our sport. Like often you've got to put job over joy, you know? Yeah. Whereas for Koen Bouwman, same thing.
Simultaneous, hand in hand.
Yeah. Joy over joy.
Although I don't know if he didn't love racing for a while. I think he just did it because it was what he had to do in between training camps.
Yeah.
You know, like that was his shit. That he was just looking forward to the next training camp.
He must be that example of we were talking on the other potty about how you deal with Swannies. Like mechanics are the same. They can be real precious at times, but he must just get along like a house on fire with the support staff.
Yeah, he doesn't care about anything. He literally doesn't care about anything. He just goes, it's all good for me. What bike do you want? What wheels do you want? What's on there? Yeah, okay, they're good.
That's awesome.
We're a bit sport for choice these days, eh? Like,
oh yeah.
Like the listeners probably don't know this. Like we have a WhatsApp group in our team. Whenever you go to a race, like Tour of Romandy, for example, there'll be a WhatsApp group started. Will be Tour of Romandy equipment, and it's a WhatsApp group. And every night you send in your what tire pressures you want for the next day, what wheels you want, whether you want the deep ones, the shallow ones,
gear selection,
what chainring you want. Do you want a big chainring, a small chainring? What cassette do you want? Do you want a 30 tooth on the back of 28? All these things. Like we're sport for choice. We are sport for choice these days.
And it's the same with clothing, right? Like it's raining on the bus. You're sitting on the bus. It's raining. Like, what are you going to wear? And you're like, I might wear the springtime vest with the summer arm warmers, but with the winter jacket, but not the thick one, like the one without the fleece, but the Gore-Tex. And you're just like,
I honestly
had a
like,
rain jacket.
Yeah. And like, I went to Romandy and I was like, because you never know at Romandy, the weather can be shit. So I was like, I'll just take, a number of wet weather options. I packed a suitcase with these 4 or 5 different long sleeves that I don't even really know what they do. They're amazing.
Tell the difference.
But I'm like, I don't know
the difference between them.
But I haven't tried them all, so it would be a massive risk to try it in a race. Put it on in the race, go, it's 10 degrees and rain, and put this jacket on, and just get out there and go, this jacket's amazing, but fuck, I'm hot, Or like,
this turned out it was a summer jacket.
Yeah. This
was the cooling jacket.
Yeah. Like for 15 years, I've been having this conversation. You still don't know what to wear. 15 years after doing it.
Why don't you just wear a jumper, a top, and a vest and a jacket? Wouldn't that be in a wet weather day?
That's how I lost the Giro 2 years ago.
You just wear the top, a vest, and a jacket over the top. That's enough support, isn't it?
Yeah. Could be pretty cold out there.
Oh,
I mean, you've got a bit of insulation though, DJ.
Shit. Yeah,
I mean,
you walked in,
not to have a jab, but
you opened the door, mate. You walked into that one. You
hey, guys, podcast fishing. Jonesy's delivered. Daryl Impey.
No. Yes.
Yes. We got him.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
what's happening?
Oh, let me take my helmet off. I'm just about to do some efforts, but I thought I left you hanging for long enough, so I thought I might as well jump on quick, Give your show some spunk.
Good on you, mate.
What do you got on?
I got some 40 20s, then 1 minuters, then 30s. Well, not a fun day.
Hey, Daryl, we were just talking about wet weather clothing. Have you worked it out, like the right mix after all this time? Because these other guys, they just cooked it up.
These you guys are struggling for content. You're talking about Yeah, mate. I just I got a really good rain jacket and really good undershirt.
Yeah.
Really good
Jones has led you down a wormhole there. That's not what we were talking about.
There's no bad clothes. No bad clothing.
No
bad weather, just bad clothing or whatever it is.
You're doing content now, Daryl. You know how hard it is, mate. Keeping it fresh.
Yeah. Well, that's what I actually came on to ask you guys. What do you think my next video should be?
Yeah, this is a bit of cross promotion. This is good by Jonesy. This is given Daryl. I was actually on Daryl's YouTube channel, his recent video. Yeah, you guys. So you don't know that Imps has got a YouTube channel. He does. It's called Daryl Impey, and it's on YouTube, and it's a channel, and he posts regular content.
That's
and
right.
as you guys know with Daryl, he's a bit of a funny bastard, and he's just sort of finding his feet with this content, but his personality's starting to seep out. And then once the floodgates open, hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
You've been holding back,
so get
Daryl.
on board.
You've been holding back from the real Daryl Impey.
Well, I actually got a massive spike since Bills jumped on, so it's probably all due to him, you know. Yeah, but you know what?
What have you covered? You've done form fuckers, because we there was a bit of cross promotion on that one. There was cycling etiquette.
And then we've got coffee etiquette. Have you discussed that one? Where you like, have you gone into that?
No, not yet. But there's
Yeah,
screaming
like, you know,
going
like
on in the back of George's room.
Well, like I was discussing in my, you know, I hate to cross promote you, but you know,
Do it.
when you
That's why
coffee
you're here,
shop,
mate.
what is your feeling on it, George? When some guy just puts his shitty sweaty helmet and his gloves and his car keys and shit on the table where you're about to eat, and then you're like,
Oh, yeah, no,
You
I'm
know,
not a big fan of that.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like something Sam Bewley would do, though. Just like, and he's a real sweater, you know, and he's got that real, like, horrific sweat, you know, when he's like on the limit.
Stinks too.
dirty beard. And all
Yeah,
that
he's
shit.
just a
He's
grubby
got like
prick,
his
isn't he?
nothing stuck in his beard, like after riding, and then it's just like, oh, he puts his sweaty,
Yeah.
stinky helmet on the table.
Yeah. No, that was good. I mean, I think you covered that pretty well. I don't know what you're going to do next. I think you could maybe cover something I've been finding quite amusing lately is the Girona Living Facebook group. That could be quite a good video. Just, you know, like the people that put in the comments, like, hey, does anyone know where I can get laser therapy from? And you know what I mean? And it's like, just Google laser, you know, like, and you could just go through and just dissect everybody in Girona Living that's asked a stupid question and be like, this guy's a moron. This guy's a moron.
But I don't like to discriminate on my channel.
Oh, you know, you're quite a family-oriented channel, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, aren't you meant to be at a bike race today? A running race? With the supporting the family?
That was yesterday, mate. That was yesterday. I was in touch. She knocked it out. It was bloody hot. But, yeah, I told her to not do any long running races anymore because it was like 3.5 hours there running after the kids at the running race, which wasn't so easy. But jumping castle, you know, you can only do the swing so many times, the jumping castle so many times, and then it becomes boring. So, yeah, and then the little fella, he like hurt himself on the jumping castle. He had like a little burn mark for jumping down, and then he wanted mom, and then shit, mom was running, and then I couldn't be mom, you know, I just couldn't be mom.
There's your video right there. That's cycling dad running a household. Yeah. You know what I mean? Balancing, because that's why. I mean, me and Sam don't have kids, and I wouldn't know what to do with them. Like, how the hell how do you be a pro cyclist and have kids? That's literally, I probably would have had like 6 kids by now. But like, what do I do with them? I'm standing in living. What do they do?
You can't have a kid if you're a kid yourself, George.
Exactly. You've got a lot of growing up to do.
Well, there was a channel that was really popular called Angry Dad. Maybe you could do something similar like that.
Yeah.
To show all the times you go and
just
cycle
Daryl
at home.
beating his kids.
Yeah.
Just a highlights reel.
Imps, before we let you go and do your efforts, what do you got next?
Tour of Norway. So next Monday. Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, one of those days it starts. 6 days, I think it is. Tough, man.
Keep in mind at Tour of Norway, I don't know if they still do it, but there used to be a sprint at the Tour of Norway. One sprint throughout the whole 6 days on one day, one sprint. If you win it, 500 kilos of salmon. Keep that in mind.
Mate, if you win that, why don't we make a thing right now? We all pitch in, the boys in Girona, we all pitch in for Daz that he brings home 500 kilos of salmon, and we just create like a salmon collective. And so we'll back you, we'll pay for you, we'll all put in like 300 euros each. I reckon we could get 10 of us and bring home. Oh, wait, does that math work out?
Well, you know, I'll just give you some salmon. Okay, you don't have to pay for it.
All right. Can't wait. See you in 2 weeks for some salmon. For a barbecue salmon.
But you guys know where I am, man? Do you know where I am? Probably not. Top of Al's Angels.
Oh, you are in Al's Angels.
Did you get our record? Did you get my record? I mean, not our record.
Let's talk about that record. That's what I'm going to talk about in my next show.
Do it. Everyone be quiet.
How to win a Strava comp. Line up 10 of your mates. Get them to do
Shut
what
up.
they
Shh.
Keep
Oh,
going.
you're allowed to. You're allowed to do it.
How fucking good you are. Like,
There's a story to
Busted.
that, KOM.
yeah,
But it is just
that's great content there. I think I'll get you on, George. We can talk about
It
how
is
you won.
suspicious. How after it is suspicious that I was able to average 30k an hour up a hill for 25 minutes or something, or 20
It
minutes
was wet.
after
I remember it was also wet that day. I reckon you would have.
it was raining.
Yeah.
Do you
I
know
know
who's
it
the
was wet.
MVP of that day? Was Luke Durbridge. He showed up with the worst hangover of his life after about 20 minutes of sleep.
And pulled.
And supported.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good topic. Like, how serious do riders take Strava records? Clearly,
Well,
very serious.
I mean, you've got a pro bike rider like George is chasing down, trying to beat all the punters in Girona.
Mm.
We just
That's
had
it.
to.
But it's all legal. No lines were crossed. It was just.
Oh, some white lines were
just-
crossed. I saw
yeah.
your
Yep.
white line. You hit that
And-
white line at about 40k an hour.
That's how I know it was wet, because when I hit that white line, it way too quick, and my front wheel was looking at the other side of our angels.
I actually reckon, Strava comms should be allowed however you get it, as long as it's not motorized. And even if you're motor pacing, because even if you're in a race, it's like motor pacing. Sometimes you ride these circuits around here where we have Catalunya, and there's no way you can do it by yourself. But if you're in a bunch, you can do it. So if you've got a motor pace and you get the comm, it counts as like kind of being in the bunch, So I don't think
It's like being on Ghana's wheel.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go.
Still-
Oh,
still
there's-
We'll
takes-
let,
yeah,
we'll let you
get
go.
some
Go and
intervals
do
done.
some training.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta go work, I'm not like you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Thanks for joining
Oh,
us.
well, thanks
For
for
all the
having me.
listeners, Daryl Impey on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe at his channel. But
Just be lekker. See you later.
just be lekker.
Good on you, Imps.
Daryl Impey, what a legend. See, I knew I'd hook a fish, and that was a good one. You thought I'd go
Now,
with a
one thing I
mechanic?
have to say about that day, now we've uncovered that, so we went a full gas effort for Angels. I remember thinking one of my friends was done as he got back on, I thought he was pulling off. So I was like, yeah, hip slung him, and he wasn't finished. And then he got back on after I'd hip slung him like 10 meters out the ass.
But I don't know why you're so concerned about keeping the fact secret that you had a couple of guys leading you out, because like at the end of the day, you still did it. You still pedaled the whole effort. Like all you did was have one guy in front of you give you a K or two every now and again, and it's completely legal. It's completely legal. The reality is, everybody, like in the Strava world, I mean, it's also. The reality is, everybody knows that you had somebody help you. You had like some.
Because there's no way you can ride.
Because there's no way you can do that by yourself. And thirdly, whatever number I'm up to, if somebody wants to go out and break the record, get fucking 10 friends together. If you can't get 10 friends together, don't blame it on us. That's
You
not
don't
our fault,
deserve it.
You know?
If you don't have 10 mates, you don't deserve it.
If you haven't got 10 mates, do it with 5 or however many you got. Simple as that.
That's it.
Yeah, I reckon I'll be struggling for any KOMs from now on. Ever since we started this podcast, People
I
don't
can just
text me back
see
anymore.
cycling tips leading with this one.
Yeah.
We should have asked
Anyway.
Imps who you think's going to win the Giro. A lot happened on Blockhouse yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, yesterday I was real excited about Jai winning too. He's such a nice, humble guy. I was real excited about him winning. And he also it looked like they were going fast, eh? That looked so painful. Watching Joao just get dropped, come back, get dropped, come back. And then obviously the thing I was gutted about, and obviously you are too, Sam, was Simon's knee obviously shat the bed on him.
Well, I don't know if it was 100% the knee, though. He said after the race it wasn't just his knee. Like, he had that lead-up
but it
race
wouldn't have
where the
helped.
heat... He said the heat knocked him around in that lead-up race, and then it was 27 degrees on stage 9. So there could be a heat factor, and, who knows. But what do you do with Yatesy now? If I was Whitey, I would literally say, righto, mate, don't worry about the Giro now. Let's send you home. Go chill out for a week, clear your head. let's go to the tour and let's just go for stages in the last week.
Do you know what you do with Yatesy? Is you do what Yatesy wants to do with Yatesy. That's the best way to approach it, in my opinion. This is not a decision that needs to be made by management now. I reckon this is a decision, in my opinion, that needs to be made by Yatesy. And because his character is very different to a lot of GC riders. No offense, George, but it's different to a lot of GC riders in the fact that he has a shit day yesterday.
He does Strava records on his own, for starters.
He's not a fuckwit.
He's not a dick. And he doesn't just split the dummy like you and the rest of your GC mates.
That's
exactly. That's what I'm getting at. His character is not to throw the white towel in. He had a bad day. He lost 11 minutes. The GC's over for him. He knows that. But he's not the kind of guy who wakes up today and goes, or finishes that stage and goes, put me on a plane, get me out of here. That's not what he does. And if that does happen, if he doesn't start tomorrow, or if he does stop in a day or two, I mean, if he starts tomorrow after the rest day, he's going to Verona. He's going to the finish. If he doesn't start tomorrow,
he's going as long as his knee can handle.
Yeah, but if he doesn't start tomorrow, there's a reason, and it is an injury or whatever. But he's not the kind of guy who just throws a towel in and just mate. He'll go, I fucking prepared for this Giro, and it's gone shit. It's all gone the way I didn't want it to go. What a shame. I'm fucking gutted like the rest of you, but I'm here now. So let's go try win a stage. You know, that's
could be
what
the
I think
whole
Yatesy will do. And I think it needs to be Yatesy will make a decision. I don't think it's up to management to say, oh, let's go to the tour now. Because at the end of the day, like if you say to Yatesy, like you said, Jonesy, all right, mate, why don't you got a sore knee, stop now, rest it up, go home, go lie on the beach for a week, and then let's come back full gas for the Tour de France. That's also a fucking difficult mindset because this guy has spent the last 12 months focused completely, tunnel vision on the Giro d'Italia, and it's gone badly. And now you can't just professional high class.
A week on a beach doesn't.
You can't just switch.
Can they fix it?
Like boom,
€20 3-course meal at Tosser. Oh, mate, I don't know what I'd rather be doing.
Oh, good. I feel good now. I mean, I trained for this for 3 years.
Fresh is this bloody squid?
Week on a beach, though. Fuck yeah, a week on the beach.
Like, believe it,
must be flying,
mate. Week on the beach fixes everything. Get the salt out.
Believe it or not, like world class athletes also have like. You know, they take things hard and they take things difficult. And there'll be people out there that go, you get fucking paid good money to do that shit. Come on, you know, that's your job. Yeah, well, fucking hell, you know. Like, it's also, like, sometimes it's difficult when you have such tunnel vision and a massive mindset to switch it and go, I'll go tour and win that now. Fuck it. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy.
Well, on the flip side, you do make a good point. It's for you, George. When you do a campaign that has been built up for so long, you've got all this support network around you to go and put your hand up and go, all right, boys, didn't work. I'm out of here. That obviously doesn't serve well for all the people that have backed you as well. They would want to see you at least get to the finish, yeah?
Well, this is what I've learned actually over time is like, especially last year. So last year was severely the worst year of worst performance of my career in terms of things going pear-shaped. And it's kind of trickled over to the start of this year in terms of being really good in training, having the legs to be good, and then just absolutely shitting the bed on race day. So Giro, obviously we know the story, was flying, got really cold, never recovered, fucking boom, out. Same thing with the Olympics. Build up, got sick, 3 days before the Olympics, had some crazy rash, that was it, Olympics gone. And the whole time you're like, both times I had this intense like embarrassment that like, shit, I've just let all these people down. Like, but in the end, like the people that are backing you, this is something you don't really see at the time, is you've got this embarrassment. You're like, oh my God, all these people like were supporting me and all these people did all this stuff to help me. And then ultimately, like the only reason they did those things for you is because they wanted to see you go well. And if you don't go well, they don't go, fuck, man, I helped that guy train and he went shit. Or I can, you know, I got his bikes ready for him in training, or and now he's gone, shit, what a dick. They've gone, they're actually invested in you and they're feeling a bit of pain for you. So they're going, man, he put so much into that Olympics and fuck, he's come down with this thing. Oh my God, he must be gutted. They're gutted for you, you know? Yeah. And the only people that are actually like, okay, we needed a bit better than that are the blokes that are paying your wage, looking for your UCI points, whatever. But they still feel for you. They still go, oh, damn it, I really wanted him to go well. one for the points, and then maybe there's a point where they go, okay, we are going to have to reassess salaries or leadership roles or something. There will be some trickle-on consequences, but in that moment, they're not like no one's angry at you.
Like the people that like your family and your friends and the people that are close to you and the people that love you and the people that want you to do well, like their love is not conditional on your performance. They, of course, like you say, they want you to be the best that you can be and have the best race that you possibly can have, because they know how it's going to make you feel, and that makes them feel good. And then if it goes pear-shaped and they're gutted for you, they're exactly like you said, they're invested in you. A team is like ultimately they do. The management of teams really do care about you, and they do want you to go well. But their support crosses a little bit into a conditional support.
Well, they're running a business, aren't they?
They're running a business, and they really do care for you, and they look after you, and they spend money and resources and all these things, and a duty of care on making sure you're healthy. If you aren't healthy, they make you rest. They do all these things, and because they do care. And if your performance goes badly, the first thing they feel is pain. Like, fuck, we're gutted. We wanted you to go well. Are you all right, mate? And then, at a certain point, you have to go, well, fuck, we pay you too much money, mate.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is then you've got the pressure of the business of cycling. So they see, okay, we're all gutted, but then they go, how do we get maximum value for the rest of this year? And when you look at a team, like just devil's advocate, 80% of their return comes from the Tour de France. Yatesy, if he hit out in the first 15 days of the tour, he probably could win a stage in that last week or whatever. If he
Yatesy could win the Tour de France overall if he wanted to. I mean, he's one of the I still think he's one of the best in our generation of what. Look at his time trial now. Look at him uphill. Pretty much no one beats him uphill normally. No one beats him in time trials anymore.
And that's the thing with Yatesy.
He could win the Tour de France.
The Giro hasn't gone well, but like to take it back a bit about investment from teams and all that stuff, like he is far superseding his investment, because it's gone badly in the Giro, but he's had a hell of a year already.
And he won it. Don't forget, he won a stage in the Giro already. We're talking about how shit the Giro was. He won a stage.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's won a stage in Paris-Nice and finished second overall. He's won 2 stages in Asturias. Like he's having a hell of a year. And I think like when you talk about the Tour de France, I'd say there's a good chance that he will be at the Tour de France, regardless of whether he finishes the Giro or not.
I thought they weren't doing it. I thought they were going to put him in the Vuelta.
Well,
I don't know. This is what I'm making up. I don't know.
Here's the situation, but that's quite particular to Mitchelton.
No, it's Bike Exchange JCO, mate.
Bike Exchange JCO, which I have actually no idea, and I might be completely wrong about this. But there's this relegation question that's going around in terms of, I don't know if they're really in the danger, if it's really in the danger zone.
I think they are. I think they're amongst the 5 or 6. Like,
I think they're on the top end of it though, right? Like it shouldn't be a real threat.
Yeah.
But
we're at the bottom end of it. We're at the bottom end of it, Jonesy. We're a week ago, we were 1 above the relegation line.
Ooh.
So that's probably changed now because we've won a stage at the Giro.
I think you need to tell him take that week at the beach, mate.
We need a week at the beach.
We need a week at the beach. After all that back and forth, Yatesy. Take your towel. Take your towel. Week at the beach, mate. 20 euro. Toss it to buffet.
I tell you what, he's not getting the UCI points on the beach. The thing is that if you want to talk about relegation, like you're
right for that team, you get some points.
Yeah. Stop right.
What are you doing about it?
Right out. Getting the lead out. Do something.
Get some points.
Come on.
No, what I'm trying to say is that like the place to maximize points, and this is why this promotion relegation system or point system is flawed, because the place where you're going to get the points is at 1-day races. So actually, if you were, we are about 1 above the relegation line, but the points difference is quite substantial. So we are, in a sense, pretty safe. Plus, we've had, since the last time I saw the relegation numbers, we've won a stage at Giro, we've won a stage at Tour of Hungary. So we've probably moved up again, and we've got quite a spread on 800-point lead or something on Israel, who are the team first below the relegation line. But if you want to get out of the relegation zone, or you want to remove yourself, put yourself right into the safety zone, and this is why the point system is fucked. you actually need to send your best riders to one-day races. For Israel or Lotto Soudal, you say, okay, Caleb from Lotto, Woodsy from Israel, neither of you are going to the Tour de France.
Because you're doing
if you go to, you're going to fucking France and you're doing 6 one-day races, Caleb, and they're all sprints. And if you win all of them, you're going to get 600 points or more.
Yeah.
You're going to,
How about
whereas
this?
if you go to Tour de France and win
Visma,
6 stages, you're going to get 300 points. So that's why the point system is fucked. You're better off going to one-day races than going to win stages at Tour de France.
I think we touched on this earlier, like a couple of months ago, but the day that Jumbo Visma went 1, 2, 3 in Paris-Nice, UAE also went 1, 2, 3 in Ligueglia, or like a really small race in Italy, like not many World Tour teams. And we absolutely eclipsed them for points on that day. So 1, 2, 3 in one of the hardest stage races of the year, or 1, 2, 3 on a small one-day race in Italy. And we absolutely eclipsed them on that point. So there needs to be like World Tour points and then Europe Tour points or whatever, as opposed to just
Same
them all
happened
in,
to us.
because then you just
the day that Michael Matthews won the stage in Tour of Catalonia, a World Tour stage race, Bling won the stage of Catalonia. The same day, Dion Smith finished second in a 2.1 or 1.1 one-day race in Italy with only 2 World Tour teams there, us and you guys. And Hershey won, Dion was second, and then the rest was Pro Conti teams. Like the lowest level race that a World Tour team can do. He got almost double the amount of points that Bling got for winning the stage in Catalonia. No. So do you
know what the trickle on from that is, which is really dangerous, is you get these teams, like actually we've had to cancel a few races and stuff because you have so many guys going to if you're really in the pursuit of points, you end up going like, right, we're going to go to France this weekend, we're going to go here, and you get all these guys doing these crazy small shit races. And they're just on the limit because you've only got a roster of 30. So you're just pushing race days, and sending them to traveling, like the mechanics, the trucks. I mean, you risk you're absolutely on your knees by the Tour de France. If you were truly in pursuit just of points, you could potentially completely ride a you could lead all this crazy stuff.
You think September and October is shaping up to be the 2 biggest months in the history of cycling for desperation, because you've got that,
so
and
many
then
races.
but then you've got the riders that don't have a contract. I remember going to UAE that year, Bills, and there was a rider in the bunch. They're going, "Somebody get him some water. He's about to pass out." And they go, "Why don't you sit up?" And he goes, "He doesn't have a contract." He was just giving it to it. He didn't have a contract and just riding himself to near exhaustion. So you mix that with teams that need points. He doesn't have a contract. He doesn't have a contract. It's like, let him go.
Oh shit! Everyone puts the brakes on.
Speaking of contracts, it's with this. If you tie this point system into contract negotiations, the teams that are in the relegation zone or the teams that are very close to relegation zones have a very difficult position to negotiate to buy riders. Because if you're like, I want such and such to come, they go, yeah, but fuck, you're in the relegation zone. That means if I sign with you, if I commit to you, I'm not going in the World Tour next year, potentially. So then they go, and then do you go, okay, I want to clause my contract that if you're not in the World Tour, I can sign.
But you don't find out to October. So what do you do?
But you don't find out to October, exactly. So then what do? Do you draw a line in the sand somewhere and say
financial compensation, or another 250 grand if you're not?
Yeah, or you draw a line in the sand somewhere and say, okay, if by the 1st of September you're not World Tour, I can leave, or but these teams, it's like English Premier League football, like Arsenal, who's sitting 4th at the moment in the English Premier League, really on the edge. Are they going to make the Champions League next year? Are they not? They want to sign some players, but the players are like, yeah, but fuck, we don't want to join you unless you're going to be in Europe. So if we sign with you now, and then you finish 5th in the Premier League and you're not in Europe, then we've fucking shot ourselves in the foot. So they wait. So they wait. And in the meantime, Man City and all the other teams are fucking signing all the best players in the world because they're guaranteed to be in the English Premier League.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle. So if you're a team on the relegation line or a team below the relegation line, to negotiate to buy riders is fucking difficult.
Would you be open to being traded? You know how in NBA, you wake up one day and they go, "Oh, you're going to Oklahoma," and you don't have a say. You're just going there. Your family, your kids, you're going to Oklahoma. Okay, in cycling, you wouldn't have to move house, but excuse me. You imagine just being like, oh, there's a transfer window of a week in July. And sorry, mate, you're going to go right for France de Jeu. And the next race you roll up and everyone's speaking French.
Yeah. I was talking about this, the transfer system, the transfer idea of transfer system window for someone recently. And like, there's parts of it I kind of like, but there's
what is there to like about waking up and having coq au vin for breakfast? You know, like I
think what it does is
Parlez-vous anglais?
It could potentially like even up it could make the points race a little bit more even in some ways, because like if you're a team of a lesser standard and you're relying on like a couple of guys to get the bulk of your points, and they go out and break a collarbone, or they're out for a long time, and you lose your majority of your points earners, or you have a year like this year where you go and get 6 riders out of crook, and like Israel, for example, again they had to pull out of the Tour of Flanders this year because they couldn't field a team, you know. So, but if there was this transfer window where maybe you could borrow riders to bring in a points earner or to start I don't know, it's all fucking bullshit. But like, there's parts of it that like I reckon if you really dialed in the mechanics of it, maybe you could make it work. But ultimately in cycling, I think that to make a successful cycling team is about building a group, which is what Jumbo Visma have done really well, of signing guys on like long-term contracts. Everyone signs 3 years for starters. Boom, you know. And you guys are starting to do it now. That's what you need.
We
to
signed
do
5-year contracts for guys.
Yeah,
at UAE.
5 years contracts in your team, like, because then that brings a group of guys together that gives you time to mold them into a group of, you know, a good culture, push them, build them forward together. I think that's what makes successful teams. That's what's happened to Jumbo, I reckon. And if clearly a transfer window wouldn't do that, because you just be like, I don't even know. You go there and the fucking nutrition program's completely different, or
there's one guy you've been headbutting against the railing, you know, the week before, just coming into the final, you know, and the next minute he's leading you out, and he's sort of going, and
you got to come in. We need you for Dolphin, but you got to come in a week early because we need you to set up your new bike because you're going from a fucking Bianchi to a Specialized. Like, you know, it's not like a basketball. They're all bloody orange no matter what team you're in. You know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do we have to talk about ball trimmers bills?
Oh yeah, well actually they're back by popular demand. So a few people reached out. They said, "What's going on with Manscaped? We want to get ourselves a clipper. We want to get ourselves a lawnmower 4.0.
Ooh, yeah.
We want to get some ball deodorant. We want to get all the good stuff, but we'd stop talking about it.
Summer, you need that stuff. You need that stuff for summer,
Exactly. And we'd stop talking about it. We'd stop promoting it, and people thought, "What's going on there?" Well, you guys
thought they dumped us.
Know the code is back, SDP20, for 20% off, free shipping over at manscaped.com. Use that code, SDP20, and you can get your lawnmower 4.0. You can get your ball deodorant. You can get everything you want from Manscaped. All the things you've been asking us for, you can get it. Had a few messages from a few females as well, wanting to buy presents for their partners. Birthdays coming up. Get on there, SDP20. Manscaped.
You know that in Catalonia.
Trimmer?
Yeah, they're still.
You got the bumhole trimmer. That's a nose trimmer. The nose trimmer. It's a nose trimmer.
Yeah. Well, you just got to get the order of operations correct. Right. You do your nose in the bumhole, not the bumhole in the nose. And I was thinking, you know, in like St. Geordie Day in Catalonia, you know how it's like a tradition. The woman, you buy a girl a rose, and a girl buys you a book. That's the whole thing on St. Geordie Day. Could we introduce some kind of day around this where you get, you know, woman buy their man a ball trimmer or a bumhole trimmer or a nose trimmer, whatever you know, on some kind of annual SDP day, and some kind of we integrate sponsors products, and you buy them an iRobot vacuum. I mean, I'm sure that'll go down well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just cause this big punch up, the annual punch up day.
The annual like passive aggressive present day, just like you know how like when you were young, it was kind of like offensive, like, oh, should I buy somebody deodorant? Am I saying that they smell? You know, there was always that thing. So just a passive aggressive present day.
Grade 6 party. I gave the guy a brute pack because he stunk. Oh,
and how did he take it?
He loved it. He was rolling brute in grade 6 like the whole way through. Might even held hands with a girl at the playground. Definitely.
Old Spice.
Yeah. Links Africa.
That's it. That's great.
All
All right.
What else? Anything else going on?
No,
Probably not,
I've got to
eh?
go for a bike ride at some point.
You gotta go
early morning.
training.
Had a blood test this morning, and you guys ever get like a nervous blood? Oh, Jonesy, you probably. Oh, you might in normal life, but like Bills, you probably have a lot. Like a nervous blood tester, you know, where like you go there and they're sort of like they're coming at you with the needle to, you know, and they're shaking, and you go and hold on a minute. I don't like the look of this guy. He's coming at you with.
Maybe he watched the podcast and he knew that you could go psycho at any moment, and you probably ragged on the testers in the past. Remember that we told.
Well, I
that
had
story
one
time?
once. Well, I had it with in I remember in Pau in Tour de France. I came in and this guy was shaking, and he went through, you know, drug tester early in the morning, and he went through my arm and hit the nerve, and my whole hand just went numb, and I just had like paralyzed hand for the day. It's like, fuck.
The stranger.
Yeah, had a good rest day that day.
Yeah. So we're 10 days into the Giro. Let's wrap it up. We're 10 days into the Giro so far. There's been some winners and there's been some losers. As always in the Giro, there's always someone you don't expect that comes out and rips it. They don't always win the Giro, but they're always up there. Jai, I'd say this year. He's, you know, he was obviously second in the Giro a couple of years ago, but he, even to his own admission, he's been a bit off the pace the last 12 months.
He had a tough year last year. He had all sorts of issues. Yeah.
But he's clearly back to the level he wanted to be at. Second on, we won blockouts yesterday, so I'd say he's a good outsider for the podium now, or creeping into an insider for the podium.
He's only 20 seconds off the pace.
But shit hot.
Our mate is looking good, but we're 10 days in. We're at the first rest day, or the second rest day. Traditionally, the first rest day. Who are you picking now? Obviously, Yates is out, so I'll have to reevaluate my choice for the victory. But
Carapaz. I just think Ineos are just, mate, they're crafty. They've got their own bloody custom beds, mate. That makes a difference. Get good.
I want to go Jai, but I tell you who looks real good is Bardet.
He looks real good, and so does Landa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, Landa dropped it yesterday. No one knew. He actually crashed himself.
Landa looks fucking sharp.
Yeah, but Landa loves it. Oh, that's why I love watching Landa race, because he loves the drama, you know? Like, he'll lose like 3 minutes one day, but then he'll take like 4 minutes back.
Well, there's our three then. Arguably the strongest three on the climb yesterday. We got Carapaz, we got Bardet, and we got
Landa.
So let's see. I agree. I think Landa's looking bloody sharp, but you know his track record at Grand Tours is often not that good. Generally, he gets caught up behind.
Neil Stevens isn't on the ground at the race, but whenever that team gets a sniff, Neil wouldn't be able to sit back and just watch. He'd be like texting
be there.
Or he'd be there in spirit. He might even roll up for the last week, I reckon. He'll be there. Let's get these bastards over the line. We'll get Sheriff on next.
No, I was going to say about the people have been asking for merch updates. We haven't got an official merch update at the moment, but all we can tell you is that it's in the workings. It's in the process. The logo's been sent to the people, to the designers. It's been printed
mock-ups.
and mock-ups have been created. So we're getting close. So it'll be very, very, very soon.
Man, and those 400 emails I had, I'm sure one of them must have said something like, it's on its way. But
yeah, it's getting very close. And good news is it will be a worldwide store. There will be worldwide shipping. So you'll be able to buy it from anywhere in the world. So we'll keep you updated. It's not far away, though. Like, share, subscribe.